and I don't typically like to do this, but grade Brad Holmes offseason, D-Mac. If you had to give a vibe-based grade, and the draft count, I think the draft counts towards that.
Yeah.
If you had to give the Brad Holmes offseason a grade, and I'll say, hey, when you're in the text thread right now, the chat thread, you can save the he didn't get an edge F. You can save it, all right? D-Mac, what do you give the grade of the offseason?
I like what Brad Holmes does, so it's like a B+.
Okay.
B+ till we wait and see. I mean, he did go out and he did do some advanced moves with his move, for trading up and just who he chose. But I like the fact that he got some dogs on the offensive line, and I know everybody's going to speculate if your end game was that edge rusher, then you're not going to give it a good grade. But I see what he's doing, so again, B+, A-. I was about to say I have no problem with that, because here's the thing: do you accept the fact that they like the guys that they have?
Yeah.
Right, like that's where people always think, and we're trained and conditioned that we got to get somebody from the outside. No, I think from listening to Brad, listening to Dan, listening that they solidified what they wanted to solidify, and I guess I'm gonna go A- or whatever, because you showed us yesterday the people that needed to see was there action. I need them to make the phone calls and do that, working it hard. Mm-hmm. So he put the effort in, put the time in. So I just always go back to, like, when you trust somebody who's making the decisions. And he said, when he went and got the receiver, Tesla, how do you pronounce his name? Tesla.
Yeah.
He said he's not the best receiver in the draft, but he's my favorite receiver in the draft.
There you go.
That's championship. When you're at the level where we're at, a 15-2 team, a team that costs themselves, like it's one of these things. And reading something is this guy going to be specifically used as a wide receiver, or is he going to be sort of a Swiss Army knife? We'll see.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see. So we got some dogs. We got guys that definitely want to be here. You look, I mean, who doesn't like a fifth rounder that says, "I'll die for you, coach," in his interview? Like,
Right.
No, I mean, I feel the same way. Don't we all feel the same way? Like,
yeah,
part of the herd. So I'll go A-.
Mac, is there anything that they could have done to make it an A+ for you?
You know what? I think that the only thing would have been if something would have found where they would have moved up and they would have got one of those edge guys that they were never going to get. Like,
I got you.
I don't think an A+ was ever in the cards.
I got you.
I think that like,
I like that point.
I think he got better than maybe what was expected, because he did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's the work you don't see, right, Neil? So I know that, and he likes what he got. At the end of the day, when he's you like your stuff, you like what you've added to your team, because it's a different beast, because we're right in the middle, like we're right in the heart of our window.
All right, I want to continue this discussion after the break, and then come up at 12:10, we got Thursday fights with Darren McCarty.
Yes, sir.
We get what do we have? Is this another fan fight?
No, this is a fight between two guys at a bar in Tennessee.
Perfect.
We did have another hockey one, but we're saving that one for next week when we're deeper into the playoffs.
We're getting fights banked. These are fights with normal people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, not hockey fights. We don't want D-Mac breaking down hockey fights.
No.
We does that all the time.
Got to open up the book.
The streets. Street fights. That's what I want D-Mac breaking down, because I learned something last week in Thursday fights. I did.
Don't wear an elk home jersey is what you learned.
Well, that was number one. But number two, the grab for the setup.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
It's pivotal. It's a foundation.
Don't fight a guy in a poncho.
It's
Right.
it's a fundamental angle of the street fight.
It is.
And I think it goes overlooked.
It does.
The grab for the setup, D-Mac. You taught me something.
Absolutely.
So next time I'm up in my Cato and we got to go back to back,
Right.
which has happened before,
You gotta be more
and
prepared.
fought our way to the door
Yeah.
to get out of there. Now I know. Now I'm a little bit better squared up on it. Lots of chat. Sean Hart, you B+. Nick Lucido, pocket twos win every now and then too, Neil. Talk about Javi and the swings. Michael Weary, B+. Dr. Clappencheeks, B-. So that seems to be about. We're talking about Brad Holmes right now, and grade the offseason. Motor City Patriot, best show in the D. Thank you, my
Shout
guy.
out,
I
man.
appreciate that, man. We try. Dante 151 in the super chat. Plus, everyone seems to forget that Buffalo was interested in both Tesla and Tyreek Williams, so I think Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, and it was still funny to me, some of the reactions. Dr. Clappencheek, I love that you have a fight breakdown. That's awesome. Yeah, if you missed it last week, go back to last Thursday's show and watch it. It was pure electricity. For me, D-Mac, I thought that it handled what it needed to handle. I thought the draft addressed what was the one thing I said sitting here? I want big guys that push people this way and that way.
And he did that.
And I got a bunch of them.
The trenches.
I wanted the best interior offensive linemen. Those guys ended up going earlier. Brad Holmes seems to be big on the interior offensive lineman he got, so I'm intrigued. I want to see that. I want to see Rutledge and see what he's about. The size, the everything like that certainly is intriguing. Plus, I like a guy with a mullet.
Yeah, how do you not? In 2025?
Yeah, you have to like that. And I'll tell you the other thing, D-Mac. They're fourth in available cap space right now. So if something presents itself, they have the opportunity to move. Also in the super chat, by the way, we were talking about Brad Holmes. Robert Sloppy Toppenheimer said Matt Judon, Zadarius Smith are still out there, just saying. And yeah, like the Matt Judon thing, like I know he's a local guy and stuff like that. He had that big season for New England back in 2022.
I think it's
he had 15 and a half sacks. He's had 9 in the 2 years since then. So, missed a season pretty much in between there.
Yeah, and the Falcons wasn't good.
If the numbers, again, if the numbers are okay on it, then I'm okay on it. But I'm not busting the bank by any means to
Why wouldn't you sign Zadarius Smith if you're going to do that? Because he's the better edge rushing option at this point.
Fair. Do we feel
And
that
he knows
that's
the system?
Do we feel like that's inevitable?
Yes.
I don't. It may not happen. A lot of people are banking on the fact that they're going to re-sign Zadarius Smith. It might not happen.
Because I jog my mind, D-Mac, trying to think of what the tie-ups could be, but not like from the tinfoil hat perspective, more along the lines of financially and the money. Like what would be some of the money reasons? Could it be that him and Brad Holmes have discussed this and have a plan of attack for I want to see how X or Y shake out before we go ahead and do this? Could it be that they have a difference in numbers right now?
I think that's a big thing. I think at the word Zadarius Smith does his career, he wants a certain amount of dollar. Like he's the aging veteran or whatever like that. And does it hurt a guy like this to not be on a roster for camp or whatever like this? Slow start, maybe, but I think he's only got so many snaps left in him, and it could be a money thing. I think it's more of a money or a term than it is anything else, but it's also something that the conversation's had. Wait and see. So other than that, I don't know. Other than just it doesn't fit into what the plan is.
Terrell in NFL. Neil, what makes you think Brad cares about the edge at all? He literally said it's not a priority at all.
And we still drafted one.
Well, don't we have how many sacks do you think Aiden Hutchinson will have this year?
I said 12.
Okay. Terrell, I would
14.
ask you the question. Okay. Teens.
Yeah, he'll be in the teens.
A teen number is the average of that.
You would expect that.
His over-under is 14.5.
He's a top 5 rusher. You expect
He
that.
used the number 2 pick in the draft on it. I think he values it. I'm going to keep going back. Every time I get asked that question, that's going to be the answer.
And he traded for Zadarius Smith mid-season. Like, he drafted
He got
one.
the best edge in the trade market last year.
Exactly.
He's the number 2 pick on the draft. I think that he valued, why can't we get past this?
I don't know. Because, people just forget the fact that we did draft someone. It may not be the person that you wanted, but he is somebody that had college production. So it's just we got to get over this as fans. And I get it. If it doesn't work, Brad has to hold that. He does. That's part of the job.
It will only not work if Aiden Hutchinson doesn't play.
Exactly. And plus, we are in the prime of our Super Bowl window. So maybe once this is all over, let's say 3 or 4 years go by, we don't get it done, then we can talk about it. But as of right now, I'm cool.
What are the Eagles going to do? They lost the man that had the most sacks for them last year. They lost him in free agency. What are the Eagles going to do for edge? I don't know what the Philly area code is, but Philadelphia Woodward Sports.
Right.
Like, what are they talking about? How are we going to address this edge situation?
They're going to figure it out. Whoever's playing in that spot, they got to figure it out. And the same shit here. Marcus Davenport, we know your history. You got to figure it out. Same with Al-Qaeda Muhammad. Ahmed Hassani. Shout out to him. You got to figure it out.
I think there's a level of recency bias that comes into play here. Like, I think everyone's just forgetting how, like, the pass rush looked before Aiden Hutchinson went down. It was top 5, top 10 in the NFL. Like, they were showing signs of being an elite unit, and you add even more depth to that line this year by adding Roy Lopez and Tyleek Williams in the middle that are supposedly supposed to gain more double teams to open up more looks for Hutch. And that sounds like an improvement to me.
Terrell says, KG, stop that BS, please. He's a 6th-round project. Well, the Terrell, like,
and I get that.
Right, but then answer my question.
But
then.
they drafted an edge for everybody. Oh, they didn't get an edge. They technically got one, and he's going to help. He's going to help this team.
I can't get D-Mac. I can't get past he clearly doesn't value the edge. He used the 2nd pick in the draft on one, and got the biggest edge in the trade market last year. Like, D-Mac, what's the deal with this? Why has the edge become the backup quarterback? Or the Red Wings goalie?
Because we watched the Eagles and they destroyed with their 2 edges, and God bless them.
Right, and one of them's gone.
Exactly.
Well,
but
because
they let him walk.
Because
saw
that was our detriment. When we watch games and whatever, is that we couldn't get to the quarterback.
Yep.
And it decimated our defense. So it's like because of our ineptitude. Now, granted, that was without arguably one of the best defensive ends in the league, but what's it going to look like? And you got to think that they've improved. You got to obviously Aleem coming back off of injury and stuff like this, and at the end of it, but I got to believe that they have contingency plans to what they want to do, but it seems to be more of let's wait and see attitude. So I don't know. I think it's there. I don't think Detroit Lions fans are wrong because I watched it too, going, hey, you got no pass rush. But again, you can explain why you didn't have your number 1 pass rusher, but the rest
and
of
a lot of other
better.
guys.
So it's like because there's what else you gonna bitch about this team about, right? You're gonna bitch about the quarterback, or you're gonna bitch about.
Well, no, I was told everybody likes Goff now.
Well, okay,
publicly.
there you go. But I mean, there's always gonna be that contingency. But you like your receivers, you like your running backs, you like your safeties and your DBs and stuff like this. You're not even hearing linebacker squabble.
No.
Right? Know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's come to understand, okay, this Jack Campbell, real deal and stuff. So I mean it goes with
which D-Mac, again, the hockey guy brings up a good point because when I talked about the draft and I've said, Jihad Campbell, not knowing obviously that he was an open toy already, apparently.
Yeah.
Like damaged packaging.
Right. We all didn't know.
The Eagles don't even know if he's going to play this year.
Yeah.
When I talked about the Jihad Campbell thing, my thing was, you understand after next year that where are we? We're in May, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand that 9 months from now we'll have 2 linebackers under contract?
Mm-hmm.
And like they didn't, and no one talks about that. Like if you looked at me in the eye and said, Neil, I would have liked to seen them maybe do something linebacker-wise in free agency or in the draft, I would say, okay, that's valid.
And maybe that's a next year problem because they did re-sign Derek Barnes. You're getting Malcolm Rodriguez back from injury. And they did do the same thing you're saying about the linebackers is the same thing that happened with the defensive tackle room. But instead, they overhauled that room. I think the linebackers are probably next on the list. But he refilled that defensive tackle room with Tyleek and Roy Lopez, and Levi Onwuzurike, bringing him back on a 1-year deal. So he knows, and that's another reason why I won't just crap on Brad. He sees what we see. He's aware. He's way more down the road than we are.
Terrell, Neil, come on, bro. Do you really think Brad would have got Z if Hutch was healthy? Well, they probably would have been a top 5 defense in the league and among the league leaders in sacks. So maybe not.
I think he would have, though.
Maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have. I'll meet Terrell in the middle on that one. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. I think if he signs him this year, that'll tell you, then yeah, he probably would have. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair, right, Terrell? If we're keeping it 100 right now, that's fair. That's a fair take, I think, by me.
He would have never left this team if Cleveland didn't structure that contract that way. Like, he had no choice.
Cody Ingle, the same people that don't want to pay J-Mo think we can have $80 million tied up in edges. And Cody, like, look, I'm one of those ones that raises my hand on that too and says I got a little out of pocket.
But guess what? It was okay to do that. Why? Because Brad Holmes did make the call. You're not making the call if you can't facilitate a move like that. But it probably just some hang-ups in the long-term aspect of it.
Yes. Danny G. Jihad Campbell has the knee of a 60-year-old man. I heard it's the shoulders.
Yeah.
More than the knee.
They can afford for him. They can afford for him to sit out a year, though.
Yes. DNC ENT, and this time next year we will have 2 defensive ends under contract as well. So, again, yeah, and that kind of tells you what they're going to be looking to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just a fan. I doubt Z is coming back. D-Mac, before we cut to the break and get to Thursday fights, you think the Za'Darius deal gets done? Somebody said he doesn't want to go through OTAs.
Yeah, no, I think
Could be
it's
that.
more like it's what's going on right now. If we're gonna resign him, I think it's like a veteran thing about like just take more time, enjoy yourself, older, tread on the tires, and that could be. I do think they're gonna resign. I always have, because if he was gonna sign somewhere else, he would have had to gone sign there, get into their system, go to OTAs, stuff like that.
Right.
So.
You can sign him and he just not go to OTAs, too. You can sign him early.
Because of how it looks to everybody else.
Bingo.
I got you.
So
I got
you'd
you.
rather start.
They didn't even do that for Barry.
Yeah,
like Barry wouldn't sign on purpose.
This isn't the Barry regime.
Yeah.
So don't say that, because I think the conversation could be had with some of their veteran guys, about stepping out. But it just, let me ask you this, money guy, what's the rush? The only thing is that he would go somewhere
That tells
else.
me that, in D-Mac, like when you say that, that tells me that they have, I believe this. I don't have a source on this. I believe they have like a gentleman's-esque agreement in place. Like,
they could.
Here's the money. Here's the date. We'll see you in a couple months.
Exactly. No,
That-
they very well could.
That's what I think.
And I tried to tell fans this could go all the way to camp. Like the Za'Darius Smith thing, there's no guarantee it was going to happen before the draft, and it didn't. There's no guarantee that it would happen in the middle of the summer. It could go into camp.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And let me just say, the 2026 draft class of edges is absolutely loaded. Derek Moore from Michigan is the 8th ranked edge in the draft, and there are some freak athletes above him, so I wouldn't be too worried about drafting an edge.
Michigan back to the playoff next year?
I gotta see it first.
They have to. They have to.
No, they don't.
They don't have to.
You don't think so?
No.
I think 9 games.
They got a freshman.
It's got to be at least.
Freshman QB, man.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be that guy.
I know he's supposed to be that guy, and he looked good in the spring game, but I don't know.
When you take the check, you lose the freshman.
And
you lose it.
Agreed. That's why I agree with Neil.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, he's a playmaker. It's definitely possible, but they have an easy schedule. Other than the big games, they have an easy schedule. So,
Oh, wait a minute. We have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Via Dante 151 via Adam Schefter. Is it really? White Smoke, a new pope has been selected.
Wait,
He
what?
soon will appear at the central window of St. Peter's Basilica.
Why is Adam Schefter reporting?
I don't know.
That was quick.
I guess so.
They got that shit together.
People are asking if I'm the pope.
But no, you're dialed in.
Nah, you way too tonish to be the Pope. You got to be nice if you're the Pope.